All right, and we are live, and welcome to another episode of Foreign and Domestic Sunday Night Roundtable. We appreciate everyone out there. Looks like we got a whole bunch of people out in the side chat. And before we go there, we will go to Alan B. Pro. What is up, brother?
Hey, what's happening, brother? I've had a pretty decent week, but I've been spending nothing but time at work. I've just been swamped at work. I haven't been able to make videos for nothing. By the time I get home, I'm just dead to the world. But right now, out in the side chats participation list, we have Ben Farrell been here since before the beginning. HMR Weapons Machinist. Josh is here in the room. Kyle's here in the room. Measuring Grains is out there. The one, the only Midas will be out in the side chat. Prepping to Endure, Miss Robin Jones, Scott P 79, Seven Wonders out there, Stealth Hunter 1000, Reloading Press, TR Prepper here in the room, Vanessa Kitty out there, and the Great Viborg is the last one on the list.
Awesome, good deal.
We really have to get you a job on Channel 2 Action News.
I would actually love to do voiceover work. The problem is reading. You have to read off cards, and I don't know.
Yeah, he has the perfect radio voice. I don't know about the face for TV, but he has the perfect radio voice.
Well, yeah. And, monster truck shows are one of my favorite things, so I would like to announce for those as well.
Well,
so if you happen to be putting on a monster truck show, let me know.
All right, good deal. Before we get started, it is Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, past, present, and all those that still serve. A big thank you from myself, and I'm sure from everyone else here on the panel. Thank you very, very much. With that, we'll start going through the panel. We got Chico Wise from the Dirty South. You're on mute, brother.
Yeah, maybe we don't.
Good now. Sorry. Yeah. Hey, guys on the panel in the side chat. I'm happy to be here. And as always, I'm always appreciative of the link. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. Good deal. We have Daniel, God is my judge.
Okay, now I'm up. Hey, thanks for the invite. I'll only be able to stay on a little bit here tonight. I got to get up in the morning. But I appreciate it as always. And side chat, you rock. Keep it going.
Very cool. Insight Freedom, what's going on, brother?
Howdy. It's good to see everybody. I got to pull the side chat up here so I can keep up what's going on. A Memorial Day wish and thanks to all of those who served, and especially those who sacrificed, and the families who sacrificed along with those who gave and served. So just want to start off with that.
Awesome. Jamie.
Hey, Scotsman, all the guys on the panel, all the guys in the side chat. B-Borg just said hey to me. Scotsman said we want to touch on some reloading. I'm glad to be here tonight. Thanks for the link. Thanks for the invitation. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Glad to have you, man. The latest and greatest CZ convert himself, Josh Benware. What's up, man?
How y'all doing? Just still messing with sights. I just put on those new sights, and I don't like the red sight, so I'm getting another front sight. I just ordered it. So
what did you go with this time?
I decided to go with the yellow front sight. So I think that red sight, whenever I'm looking towards the light and the shadow goes over the sight, it darks out that red sight. So I decided to go with the bright yellow front sight, and I have the two white in the back. So now I'm waiting for that to come in the mail. So that'll be the That's what I'm waiting on right now. But
Cool. Good deal. Kyle,
Where?
you there?
Okay.
What's going on, man?
I want to say happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans out there. And I appreciate everybody's seconds that they spent serving this country. Just want to say thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to answer any questions. And Josh, maybe you should have picked a different CZ. You should have tried to hijack Scotsman's CZ. I tried to, but he left Georgia with it, bastard.
I'm perfectly happy with the P10C. I just don't like the sights. That's it.
Yeah. You got to figure out what you like, man. I like the green fiber optic personally. It works really good for me. And I know many others like Big Johnson, and I know Insight just switched over to that too. So I don't know. It picks up real well. I think Daniel, you got the green fiber optic too, don't you?
Yeah, I put that on the Shadow.
Yeah.
Got a nice big long rod. That there nylon stuff. Somebody that left it in my truck.
Yep. I may or may not have left some with someone else too. They already switched theirs out too.
I've used the green. I like the green.
Yeah.
I see it way better than I do the red, for sure. I mean, I was shooting today with him. I had the Shadow out, and he wanted to push it out as far as it go, which is only like 25 yards there, and it's still so easy to see even in the dingy light at 25 yards indoors.
Well, and that's my personal belief is that the green kind of captures more low light than the red does. The red doesn't seem to capture what little light you have in low light situations, where the green kind of does.
Yeah, it picks up a lot better. The red is great if it's bright out, but other than that, it sucks.
Yeah.
You are talking about.
My bad. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it seems to me like the green, when it's lit up, kind of contrast against your background that you're shooting at better than the red does too.
Well, and really the green looks like a really bright yellow when the light hits it by the time it comes through there. So your yellow with the tritium is going to look a lot like the green looks from the end that you're looking at anyway.
Well, see, the reason I chose a red front sight is because here in I mean, I don't know if it's just here in South Texas, but nobody wears red here. I guess there's no Bloods around here. I don't know, but so nobody wears red shirts at all. So it's like if I had to shoot somebody, my sight's not gonna like contrast. It's not gonna mix, blend with it with whatever they're wearing, for sure. So that's why. But I guess yellow's just as good too.
Here in the heartland of America, every Friday, you can really tell that the people in my area know what it's about, because in the facility that I work in, nearly every single person is wearing a red shirt every Friday.
All right, and before we go any further, we still got to get TR. So TR, what's going on, brother?
Hey, everybody. I'm glad to jump in. I worked all weekend. I'll probably hang around a little while. I may stay the whole night. I don't know. We'll see.
Cool. Glad to have you, buddy.
Invite.
Yeah, always good to have you on here. So tonight I kind of wanted to do a little bit reloading chat in honor of CMAX Arms. I've been inspired recently and waking up in the middle of the night thinking of different reloading videos I can make and all kinds of crazy shit. So I figured we would do a little bit of reloading chat and talk about the various things. If you're thinking about getting into it, what's holding you back? I recently put out that video about how much room do you really need, and to show you don't need a whole lot of room. As you can see, I got the blue press behind me, and I'm kind of jealous of Chico. He's got the big blue press, but that's all right. I'll get there. But yeah, I figured we'd talk about that and answer questions from the side chat and go from there. So let's see. We'll start with Chico because Chico went full bore right off the rip.
Yeah. So you just want to know? Well, everybody knows. Most people know. I got a 650. So that is a little overboard for starting out. Can everybody hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
That is a little overboard for starting out, and I gathered my information and advice from a lot of different people, and don't get me wrong, a lot of people was like, hey, do you not want to get a single stage press first? And I was like, nah, just I weigh my pros and cons, but with saying that you can do all of that on a single stage press. What I do, making ammo, good quality ammo, and I'll show you guys later. I do have a single stage press that's very limited space. You can use it. So that's pretty much it, man. And, I'll answer the questions when they come in. But my main reason was I only have a limited amount of time. So volume, I wanted to pump out more volume in a small amount of time. I'm a single parent, so you know what I mean. But that was my main reason behind the me going full blast with a 650. But you can do everything on a single stage press. Definitely you can.
If I remember right, you got a pretty good deal on that one when you got it too, didn't you?
That is correct. That is definitely correct. I take advantage of any coupons. A lot of you guys know I'm a deal seeker anyway. So I got my press for like $509, which they retail for about $650. So I just jumped on it when I could. And there you have it. $650. Betsy Blue, she's always hungry.
And always eat.
So Josh, I know you don't reload yet, right?
Nope.
And I know you were kind of thinking about it. You still, what's holding you back? Why are you not jumping on board yet with the whole reloading?
Well, because I know myself and I know I have an addictive personality. And when I get into something, I go all out. Like I get into shit. So I'm afraid that if I get into reloading, it'll start off as me just, reloading from my 357 Magnum and just, buying simple stuff and starting off simple. But before I know it, I'll be in my backyard smelting lead and all the neighbors will be catching fumes and my wife will be bitching at me more than she already is because of, 2 jobs, YouTube, all that shit. It's like, I don't know, it's one more thing to add to everything that I already have to do is just, I just don't know if I had the time to commit to that. And also, I know I'm going to buy a ton of shit if I get into it because I'm just going to keep wanting more and more and bigger and better. So I'm kind of afraid.
There's anything wrong with that.
It is a rabbit hole. Continue going down. How's it going, fellas? Thanks for letting me join you guys.
Oh, shit, Kenny. Hey, Kenny.
Yeah, I just came back from a trouble call, so I try to make it on time, but it is what it is. I'm here now.
Good to have you, buddy.
Absolutely.
What's happening with you?
Not much. Just shot 1,500 yards. Popped the coyote this early morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Trying to dig into my chicken coop. So 300 blackout. Pretty devastating round.
Gotta stop that noise.
Yeah. So all my neighbors came out, and they're all, I could hear my neighbor behind me clapping because I guess he heard the coyotes before I did and was out in the porch. But I popped him with one of these cast lead bullets, like what Josh was talking about. They work good.
Well, at least your neighbors know now. You're not messing around.
Nope. Yeah. It's nuts, man. Like, I heard him like 20 minutes, and within that 20 minutes, he hopped over my fence, dug about 2 feet underneath my chicken coop, or almost through. I'm like, wow, that's nuts. So I try to catch one. I try to run across. I try to get a lead on him. Shot one, missed. The other one, I whistled, and it stopped and gave me that deer in the headlight look. Got him right in the shoulder. It was awesome.
I'm all for the graceful dispatching, and humane, ending your time on this planet. But when you're invading and killing my chickens and everything else, nah, yeah, done. I don't care if I shoot you in the dick. Hope you bleed to death.
Yeah, it's legal out here as long as you got agriculture and you're defending your property. So
yeah, brother, they're a problem here too.
Yeah. They're well fed out here, man. This one was about half the size of my German Shepherd, so they're feeding off these jackrabbits out here, so they're getting pretty fat.
I'll buy you a plane ticket. Come down here to Georgia, and we can go camping for a weekend. I guarantee you're going to have the willies.
Yep. Yeah, this is the rifle I shot him with. Not a traditional AR.
That's the Willie Equalizer. Got it.
Yep. Pretty badass.
Yeah. I hate them. They're a damn. They destroy so much stuff here in Georgia. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually live in a suburban area and have walked into my front yard and stumbled on a coyote like at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he looks at me like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
Yeah, actually, a few weeks ago there was an attack out here close by. There was about 5 coyotes, and I guess there was an attack on one person. I guess a transient was driving by and saw it and drove up to them and scared them off. But I guess this dude was walking 10 o'clock at nighttime, and I guess he broke down, and then he got attacked by a bunch of coyotes. It was on the local news.
Wait a minute. I know where the hell you're at. You're telling me that a human got attacked by coyotes?
Yeah. He was walking. Well, I live close to the 40 freeway, so you get a bunch of truck drivers and stuff, and a lot of folks break down. And apparently this guy broke down. He was walking as I was reading the story. I guess he got attacked by 5 coyotes. They didn't, they kind of tore him up, but what saved his butt was another person driving by. It scared him off. So they turned around, did a Yui as I was reading, and he said that they drove up to the coyotes and they all dispersed. But yeah, they're. I never thought they would be that daring, but they are, I guess.
Anybody watching this, always carry a pocket knife.
Yeah.
So, Kenny, any tips for someone new getting into reloading like Josh? Josh is trying not to because he has an addictive attitude, but reloading's addictive anyway. Once you start, you don't want to stop.
Yes, but if you're into firearms and you want to better yourself, and you want to get more acquainted in your firearm, reloading is the way to go. I was on a live chat yesterday and explaining how I went to Ben Avery shooting range, and there's folks that I met that spent thousands and thousands of dollars on a rifle setup, yet never reload. And they're shooting 1,000 yards, and I'm hitting just as much as they are with a $600 rifle. Reloading does get you acquainted with your rifle, your pistol, firearm. You get to shoot more, the benefits of just saving money as well. In the long run, you're not going to save money because you're going to end up shooting more. That's just the honest truth. So, but I would say anybody who is even thinking about just wanting to better themselves as a rifle or pistol person, definitely get into reloading because you do get to know your firearm just by working up loads and stuff. And start small. Start with a turret press. Start with something Lee. Buy used on eBay. You don't need to buy. Well, unless you're Chico, you could go straight into a Dylan. But yeah, he's dedicated. But yeah, just search on eBay. Go find a used press and a set of dies on your regular pistol. Start with 9mm or something small, and you'll see that it's pretty enjoyable. I know some folks aren't the one to tinker with, but like I said, if you really want to get involved in your firearm, it's definitely a way to go.
Yeah, it definitely is. When I first started, I was kind of iffy about making my own ammunition, and I went back and forth with C-Max for the longest time, and then finally I bought the Lee Tart press. And after probably about 2 or 3 months of going back and forth and working with him and asking questions to a few others, like Papa's Place and a few other people out there, SoCal and that, they all helped me through it. And I mean, now look at me. Shit, I got 3 different presses. I'm working on a 4th. I'm working on rebuilding the whole new bench, the whole 9 yards, man. It's once you're into it, you're into it. But it's cool. And I love the what C-Max always described it as is therapy. It really is therapy. When you're just sitting there at the bench and you're cranking on that handle, it's very relaxing. You're focused, and mentally you're able just to sit there and just get through things and just crank away, man, and make some ammo and have some fun.
Yeah, definitely. I can see the time-consuming part of it. It is, but then again, what's 30 minutes watching TV? You could have your TV in the reloading room, doing something, pretty small, just cranking out, resizing cases. Next day later, do the next stage, priming or something. Eventually you'll work up 200 rounds, and you'll be surprised how fast that came around.
Yeah, it can go pretty quick. It don't take long once you get going.
Yeah, and honestly, you did an awesome video showing that you don't need much space. You don't need a dedicated reloading room like I do. I mean, I did it in the trailer for 4 months. I mean, you obviously showed that you can just do it in a small little desk. You don't need much space. You can even do it with a hand primer. I mean, you can just buy one of those little hand reloading presses from Lee and just do it on your sofa. I mean, it's what it is, and it's just, like I said, it's very enjoyable, very relaxing to me. I'm a tinkerer, and I got AED, so I always got to be doing something.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Somehow this chronograph showed up in my house, and I noticed I'm getting like a 30 feet per second difference on my 9mm ammo. What are the causes of that?
Because we haven't shot it yet.
What, the chrono or the ammo?
You just be careful, because if he shoots it, he owes me the insurance money.
There's $20 set aside. I know.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people they chronograph their pistol ammo. Are you trying to get a speed or expansion? Kind of bullets you're trying to shoot?
I'm just trying to get consistency, because when I go to with the rifle and stuff, I measure that down with the trickle, just to get it exact on the weight. Are
you using the red bullet shoot? What shows will do again?
These are these are not the red bullets. These here are some just bought factory, put together, copper full metal jacket.
So like Burrs or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you based on if and correct me if I'm wrong, but just in some of the bullets that I bought and purchased, I go through and I weigh them to see what the differences are in weight, and it's not a whole lot usually, but it's a couple grains here or a grain there. But that could potentially make a difference, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Even the crimp on the bullet will make a big difference. Bullet setback, overall length. I don't really pay attention with the chronograph on a pistol, just because you're shooting within most likely 50 yards. But it is good to get something that's close in deviation as far as your numbers, and potentially your groups do shrink down also. But
I know we're talking reloading and all that, but we the word chronograph got thrown out there, and so we've got a question in the side chat of Alaskan Ballistic needs a new chronograph and looking for what brand should he get on that?
Don't we all?
I'd say the Caldwell. I think from my experience, I've had a Crony and it got shot. Now I got a Caldwell, and you can hook it to your phone. It comes with a real long cord. It's got a display, but you download an app and it gives you your deviation, just all kind of stuff. You punch in what bullet you're on your phone, what bullet what weight, what caliber, blah, blah, blah. And it'll give you all the specs. Like if you're looking at a reloading book, it'll tell you your standard deviation, just on and on and on, average this, average that, and all that. And they're one of the least expensive ones out there.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. That's the one that I got that's sitting at Daniels and have the insurance on. You know, always have insurance. Insurance is key.
Yeah, but TR and Tool have that Chrono Saver. That's patented.
You do, but I still need to get one. I haven't got one yet. I got to get that Chrono Saver.
I know some people are kind of cringe at it because it's plastic. Well, I had a metal one. Trust me, if you shoot your chronograph, you will kill it. I don't care if it's made out of metal or plastic.
Yeah.
I think it was our person says, I mean, you're eventually going to shoot it like I did mine. It no longer reads. You know, but I second the Cadwell because the app is awesome. Exactly saying you can log your shots and everything, and then it also has an ability to actually do a measuring on your grouping. So I really second the Cadwell kit. Not to mention Black Friday is coming up and the sales are out right now. So look for those sales. You might get it for about $110.
I'm going for the one that you zip tie, Velcro, duct tape, or whatever to your barrel, and it just hangs out and gives you the data.
We did have another question out there on chronos. Vanessa's asking about any Bluetooth chronos. I think the Pro Chrono is Bluetooth, isn't it?
Scott, help me out, man. I don't know.
Yeah, the Pro Chrono, I believe there's a kit you have to buy separately that is Bluetooth. But I think it only hooks up to iPhone.
Scott, help me out. What's the one that goes underneath the barrel?
That would be the Magnetotron.
Thank you, sir. Jamie, for the win.
I was going to say the same thing. If I was going to win, I buy another one. That's the one I'm going to get. They have two models. One's about $350. The other one's around 180.
Yeah.
And I think that's Bluetooth to your phone, and it has an app that says
it is Bluetooth, and I kind of have a poor taste in my mouth for Caldwell because I did call them, and they said, "Well, you're the dumbass that shot it."
Well, they said it true. There is another question out in the side chat, and I think this goes to you, Chico, and possibly even Kenny too. Do you get more points for shooting a smaller chrono?
Yeah. I'm answering that right now. Probably not, but if you catch it on video, that makes you may get one extra point, I think. So
there
it could
you
be
go,
like
Chico. There you go. It has to be caught on video.
If it's caught on video, you get one extra point. Let's say that.
But you get one extra point, but you also get ridiculed all over YouTube for the endless amount of time.
I don't give a shit about that.
So on the Reloaders Network, I talked to Bacon about putting a wall of shame. So I think that would be a pretty good.
Hell, I'll mail it to James. Hang on a minute. I got a box over here. I'll put
on their website. It does say that they have a 2-year warranty against defects in material workmanship, not against shooting the damn thing.
Right.
Oh, here's a question: what's the view value? What's the view value of actually getting that on video?
The thing about the Caldwell is being that it's remote, it's got a display, but you don't have to use a display. It's got that app. If you plug your cord in, hook it to your phone, you can be like 15, 20 foot away from the thing. It's a really long cord. And you can set a cement block in front of it. You can set a log, a board, some 2x4s, whatever in front of it. In case you do screw up and shoot what would be your chronograph, you could save your chronograph from being shot.
Yeah.
And like when I got mine, it was less than $100. If you're really worried about shooting it, you can go all out and get you a Doppler radar one that you set to the side and it uses radar. But unless you got $600-700 you want to spend on a chrono, you can spend less than $100, set a couple of damn cement blocks in front of it, and don't worry about it.
Ask Chico about shooting the chrono. Ask him. Do it. Do it now, TR. Do it. Now, do it.
Oh, TR can probably tell a personal story about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been around enough people shooting and reloading and using chronographs, I can give you a list of damn chronographs that's been shot. It just happens.
Man, let me tell you.
The guy right over here's got one sitting on his desk. I mean, this is going to happen.
Yep.
I blew the ball straight off of mine.
I'm just saying that I hope it's not me. I hope it's Daniel.
Well, there's 3 shot chronographs on this panel right now.
And Jamie hasn't brought his to any other.
And anybody, I'll just say this: anybody that says they shoot good enough not to hit their chronograph,
they're full of
is
shit.
a bold-faced liar, because that means you've never missed a bullseye on a target in your entire life.
They're full of shit, TR, is what that means.
I'm wondering how Paul Harrell doesn't hit his all the time, because he looks like he's shooting at least 25, 30 yards away in every one of his videos.
Hey, Jamie, you bringing your doodad to the next shoot?
Probably not, but I do want to address Daniel for a second, if I can. I want you to listen to, I hope you noticed, rather, the amount of money that we're talking about here. TR said he bought his for less than $100. I bought mine for less than $100. Kyle paid like $170 for his.
On a Black Friday deal.
I paid $69.
And then we stepped up and we were talking about the magnetotron for $180 and then $380. Then the Doppler radar one was mentioned for $5 to $650 range category. So you've got that Caldwell, which is the cheapest chronograph on the market, and you're getting an extreme spread of 30 with 9mm hand loads. You're doing pretty good, brother.
Yeah,
it works great.
With
really great.
An extreme spread of 30 with that chronograph, that's decent. That's not bad at all. You're measuring it with the cheapest tool available to measure it with, and you're loading 9mm, which is probably one of the most peculiar cartridges that we load, in my opinion. And while we're on the subject, you were talking about people getting into reloading. I suggest that you start with 38 Special. That's an easy one to start off with. 9mm can be persnickety. It can be very, because of the way that it's the taper crimp, and every chamber of a 9mm firearm is different. You're actually going to have to pull the barrel out of the firearm and do the plink test to make sure you got your bullet seeing depth and you got your crimp correct. Am I wrong?
You're telling me that at 10-12, we're actually going to have to get involved in what the conversation's about?
Never mind, Kyle. We'll move on to something else. Go ahead, Scotsman.
Jamie, you mentioned 38 Special. Why 38 Special?
It's a straight wall case. It's a roll crimp.
So explain roll crimp to those that don't know what that is.
Here we go. Here's a this is a 357 Magnum that I loaded. It's a Berry's bullet, and what we do is the roll crimp actually rolls the top edge of the case.
Hey, Jamie, can you hold it up higher?
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Well, the roll crimp is rolling the edge of the case mouth into either a crimp groove, or this particular bullet don't have a crimp groove because it's a Berry's bullet. But you're rolling the top of that into the bullet. Whereas with a straight wall, let's say this one right here, this is a 40 Smith & Wesson. What happens is it's tapered up. You can't roll crimp this case into that bullet because it head spaces on the front edge of the case. So you got to taper crimp it, which means that at the case mouth, the outside diameter is larger than it is down in here, down closer to the case head, because it's tapered to hold the bullet in place. And that's important in a semi-auto because you've got that recoil going on. And does that make sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense to me. I'm pretty sure it makes sense to the side chat.
And I think, I don't know about you guys. I mean, I hadn't owned a chronograph the whole time I reload. And you don't have to have a chronograph to reload. It helps. It's nice to have. I wish I'd have bought one sooner, but you ain't got to have one. But
no,
be safer to have one, but you don't have to have one. Anyway, I found as far as talking to Daniel, getting back to Daniel's question, you have more variances with pistol loads, I think, but it can depend on your powder. But pistol loads in general, you don't deal with a full case of powder. Whereas rifle, you're damn near compressed, or you're right at being compressed, and you'll get more consistent, less deviation playing around with your loads than I've found with pistol, because you got air in the damn pistol load. Now you can try different powders and you can tighten it up. You may have a wide spread by having a more accurate round. You just never really know. So I wouldn't worry about 30 feet per second deviation. As long as it's accurate. That's all you're looking for.
That's good for a pistol round. It's what they call it is load density. And to quote Uncle Jim, trail boss is your friend.
Depends on what you're loading, brother.
It does. It does.
So somebody explain to me like gas checks.
Okay. I can do that. I can do that really quickly. All right. I have this bullet right here, just a bullet. Now, They make a copper piece that you put on the back side of the bullet when you size the bullet to whatever size you're doing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't pertain to anything. But when you size the bullet to whatever you're doing, and that crimps the copper piece on the back of the bullet.
This is a gas check bullet right here. This is one from Jamie.
There you go.
See that right there in the back.
What does that do? Help me with that. I heard like Friday night. I heard some discussion about this and smooth and versus gas check. And
what it boils down to is when you gas check the bullet, you're wanting to push it with more velocity, so you're going to put more powder in it, apparently. The copper gas check is designed to be on the bullet to seal against the rifling of the barrel to keep gases from going,
going
this
past.
way.
Yeah.
This way.
Being pushed past.
You keep the gases back here.
Okay.
They don't go this way. And the copper gas check is to help ensure that happens.
But the copper gas check probably does not remain attached. At the point that it's actually leaving, at some point you lose that copper piece. Is that right?
It could happen. It could happen that it comes off of the bullet, and then again, when it's going 2,600 feet per second out of the bullet, does it matter?
Right.
Once it's left the barrel, it doesn't matter.
What is it, Kenny?
If your cast bullet is casted correctly, your gas check should not fall off when you size your bullet.
Okay.
Essentially, to simplify, the gas check is kind of like a shotgun wad, except the wad, it sticks with it. It helps. To the Lyman handbook, anything over 29,000 psi, it helps causing from gas cutting and depositing lead deposits. It's basically like this lead particles at the bottom of the base of the bullet that essentially burns and causes lead. It's not that. It's the actual gas cutting going around the bullet when you're around 29,000 psi. The gas checks help obturate and seal off the chamber. And that's usually, in conjunction with high pressure cartridges like a 9mm or a rifle. cartridge.
Okay. That helps. I mean, I hear everybody talking about this, and I hear like the Emperor talking about it a lot, but I've just never known exactly what it was.
Yeah, it's not really needed on most pistol cartridges unless you're in the Magnum or 9mm or plus P range. Like I said, 29,000 psi.
Okay.
All right, here's an example of two bullets. One's gas checked, the other is not. But with powder coating, you don't typically need gas checks as much as you would say a conventional lube bullet.
Okay.
But if you're not powder coating, you've really got to match your alloy, your lead hardness to the pressure that you're obtaining in the firearm.
Yeah, I
Like
remember
he
you
says,
talking about
20
the hardness on the relating to like the pencil hardness and stuff. What 2 weeks ago talking about that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's how we can reasonably determine the BHN, the Brinell hardness of our number of our alloy.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, side check. Took over for a minute and asked questions. So.
No, you're good. I was going to ask you, man, because you don't reload yet either. So is there any particular type of reason that you don't?
Yeah, need to. The main reason I don't is my transitional life between here and Knoxville, really. And when I'm in one place, I'm working my butt off doing stuff or taking care of the kids or taking care of my mother. And when I'm in Knoxville, it would just be rude to add one more thing to the things I need to do when I'm sitting around there. So that's my main reason now. That didn't exist when I started talking to Chris about it a couple of years ago. It does now.
Yeah.
I have to apologize. I've been ignoring the side chat, which is where the questions should have originated from. Do we have any questions?
Well, I have a follow-up question from about the gas checks. I don't know who it was. I think maybe it was Scotsman that did a video about making the gas checks from the blinds, like blinds on a window, like punching out gas checks out of the plastic from the blinds.
That was Willie Bullet Man. That was aluminum.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was aluminum. Okay, that's what I was wondering because I thought he was using plastic, and I was like, wouldn't that melt inside your barrel or something? So now that's what I was going to ask. I didn't realize he was using aluminum.
You could go to Home Depot or your True Value, get yourself aluminum flashing. You want to take a micrometer and you want to be around 14 thousandths of an inch. I mean, if you want to be self-sufficient.
Did you just say aluminum?
Yeah, I watch a lot of European folk say it.
Love you, Kenny. Love you.
So, I mean, if you want to be self-sufficient, if you really get into the rabbit hole of casting and you're running upper pressures, shooting rifle like I do, sometimes you can't buy the gas checks. They're out of stock, yada, yada, and it's just an extra cost. You can be self-sufficient, get yourself aluminum, make your own gas check, a little gas shaker die. There's a few folks out there making these things, and it's just another time-consuming process. You could be punching out gas checks. Probably within 1 hour, you probably punch out 600 gas checks plus. But like I said, it's just having the time to do it. So
it's all a thing. We all have a friend that makes a die to punch out the gas checks that you need, depending on the caliber. What you have to really sit back and look at, do you need the gas check? Can you do the cast lead bullet? Can you do it with or without the gas check? That's what you need to ask yourself. How hard are you pushing this bullet?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I asked. I guess I kind of got to start on that. Really, like you said, may have neglected the side chat. I want to lead to that, and I think there's some people in the side chat that should be on here that can provide more than I can provide. So I'm going to check out and jump into the side chat, and whoever needs to rotate in here. Again, with Veterans Day, let's just remember Justin's final mission. A great way to help put a curb to the 22 that we shouldn't be losing every day to suicide. But I'm gonna let somebody jump in that can provide.
Before we go right quick, for the most part, if you get into reloading, unless you're shooting start casting your own lead bullets for rifles, 357 or 44 Magnum, for the most part, you don't have to worry about gas checks. Like was said already, even with 9mm, if it's a pistol cartridge you're shooting lead, which more than likely it is, if it's powder coated, you probably don't have to worry about a gas check.
Yeah. Okay.
That was going to be one of my next questions, because I bought these a long time ago. These are 44 Magnums. These are the laser cast.
No, unless you're getting stupid with the velocities, you do not need a gas check.
Okay, I was gonna say I got these for a frickin' steal. These normally go for like $76. I paid $30 for the entire box, and there's 500 in the box.
Yeah, you need to send them to me.
No, I don't.
So, and thanks. Thanks for the answers, and cheers to everyone. I will be in the side chat listening, and I want somebody to jump in that can add to the amount of knowledge in this discussion. I can get plenty on the other side.
SoCal told you to stay.
No, he needs to get in. Hey, tell him to quit eating. He's always eating. Tell him to get in.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Love you, brother.
See you, Insight.
Bye, Scott.
See you.
Thanks, Insight.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. I cast bullets. I've been casting bullets for a long time. Don't get, even if you think you're going to get into reloading, casting bullets is on down the road. It don't have to be. You can start out off the bat doing it, but bullets right now are cheap enough. You don't have to really worry about making your own bullets. This is something, another step. If you like, I like to tinker. I work on stuff. I like to do everything myself. But like I started out, well, not started out, but I started casting 223 bullets when you couldn't buy them, and I can still do it. But right now, it ain't worth my time trouble. I can buy the Full Metal Jacket 223 way cheaper than it's worth any of my effort to cast 223.
You're extremely correct, TR.
I mean, 9mm 45, don't get me wrong, I still cast those. But when I cast, me and my buddy cast thousands of rounds in a day. So I'm good for a year or two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
But you're exactly right, sir. I'm sorry I'm stepping outside to smoke for a minute. But, yeah, you're exactly right, man. 223, for what it takes to buy it, I don't care what powder, what primer, whatever you're using. You can buy 1,000 rounds for $310. You know what I mean? I got 3 cents in every primer, so that's 3 cents in every round. So I got $300 in just the bare naked brass once I do all the leg work to reload it, and I ain't even put any damn powder or shit in it.
Actually, mathematician guy, that'd be $30.
Well, thank you for showing up.
What I was saying is casting lead 223 bullets wasn't worth my effort, because I can buy 1,000 rounds. Last 1,000 I bought was from Everglades, $88 shipped to my house. It's not worth my effort for those. If you want to cast bullets, fine, cast bullets, but you're probably to be better off casting 9mm, 45s, 38s, and stuff like that. But at the same time, you can still buy them pretty cheap. Right now, they're economical. What I'm saying is, if somebody's thinking about getting into reloading, don't think you'll ever have to. Don't think that, well, I got to cast bullets if I reload. No, you don't. Most reloaders don't cast their own bullets.
I want to, but I'm in an apartment, so I really can't. That's kind of, location is everything too.
Yeah, like I said, now, and lead used to be real easy to get. It's more expensive now. It's sometimes hard to find. Most reloaders don't cast bullets. So I'm just throwing that out there. Don't worry about it.
All right. And if you're not a caster, reloading is economical. If you go with 45, 40 cal, 357, even into rifle bullets, 308s, 30-06, stuff like that. It's a lot more economical to reload your own bullets. And yeah, you're right. You don't have to cast. I'm just one of those people that have a lead supply, and I do cast my bullets for about everything I shoot. So
Yeah, well, there's another thing that a lot of folks don't talk about. When you get into casting, there's that health potential, and if you do get into this art, you pretty much want to get tested your lead levels. At a certain point, if you start elevating your lead levels, and it's at the EPA level, they will check your rest of your family. So you got to know how to handle lead correctly.
Actually, me and Highboy were talking about that this morning with his mother-in-law. It was odd, but a very good conversation. I get my blood tested for all kinds of stuff periodically, actually more often than most people, because I have certain health problems. But I have been dealing with lead for a long time, and there has been no lead poisoning that has showed up.
Well, that's good. All right. So, Cal, what's going on, man? I'm glad you could jump in. What's going on, brother? Awesome. Fantastic.
As soon as I can take both these devices off of mute, I can say something. Nothing. I just jumped in thinking, oh, shit, I'm missing Scotty's little chat thing. And it's awesome to see everybody here. I didn't think it was going to be this big. It's cool to see everybody. And actually, it's awesome not only to have all my brothers out there that I normally chat with, but Chica Wise. Love that guy.
Hey, brother. Love you back.
Dude, just don't blow on him, dude, because he'll fly away. He's
yeah, there's that. I feel like he's like a half of me. He's a mini people.
He walked up to the door and walked up, man. I saw him. I'm like, dude, I can't breathe. I got to hold my breath. Hold on. Because if I breathe, I'm scared he's going to blow away.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, if you open the door to Chico, he comes right in the house just like the breeze when.
Yeah, like that leaf that's like behind you on your doorstep. Whoosh, it sucks into the house. I don't know anything about casting bullets or any of this stuff, gas checks, whatever. No, but I am a reloader. If that counts for anything.
It comes for a lot, man. We've got kind of going over a little bit of what Max taught me and many others, and he got me into reloading, and that's kind of what we're going over, and advice for new reloaders of those that are thinking about it. So you got any tips or advice for someone thinking about it or someone fairly new to it?
The only advice I would give for anybody that's on the fence about reloading is if money isn't a serious problem and you're not really on a constrained budget, I would discount 95% of the advice that you get that say start with a first stage press, and go ahead and get yourself a progressive if that's what you think you're going to be into, and just take it one stage at a time and treat it like a single stage until you get good at it. And then you'll save a lot of money in the long run, because I've seen dozens of YouTubers out there who start with like a rock chucker or some other single stage press, and they work themselves into the next and the next thing and the next thing, and then several $1,000s down the road, hey, look at, I finally got a progressive press. It's like, just bypass all that crap and get yourself a progressive press, whatever it might be, and just take it one stage at a time. Put one die in it, crank the handle, put another bullet on, or case or whatever, crank the handle, and then just work your way into building whatever caliber you're doing. And once you start doing it that way, you can kind of find your way into other calibers, pistol caliber, rifle calibers, whatever. They all basically work the same. Rifle's a little more complicated. I would recommend starting with pistol first. yeah, that's all I really have to say about that.
Once you start dealing with either big bore pistols or rifle cartridges, you won't save money by reloading. You'll just shoot about twice as much for the same amount of money, and you'll have fun doing it.
I don't agree with that at all. Just because, so here's why. Here's a great explanation. Especially for not necessarily big bore rifle or pistol for that matter. Bullets can be expensive, but say you have to buy your brass. Brass is recyclable, so it's like this endless supply of this reusable commodity that you have. It pays you over time. So basically what you're paying for is primers and powder and billets. If I were to buy, say, for instance, the same ammo that I shoot through my long range guns, those bullets are $1.50 a piece, or the cartridges, I mean, are $1.50 a piece. I can make them for way less than a third of that. So on any stretch of the imagination, I think Eagle would agree with me. You're just buying bullets, and you already have the primers and powder at this point. Usually I buy in bulk anyway. The more you buy, the less you cry, or something, whatever that saying is. But yeah, he's holding up a box of ELDs. I recognize that box all day long. Those, if you were to buy a box of 100 6.5 Creedmoor ELDs, what do they come in, like 20 round boxes? They're like, what are they, like $30 a box?
Yeah, they're like, for the 6.5 Creedmoor, you're looking at close to $30.
Yeah, so multiply that times 5 is 150. So he's got $40 roughly in a box of bullets. So that's 40 cents a round. You already own the brass. Primers, call it $3 or 3 cents a piece. I think the powder is roughly about 10 cents. So you're making ammo for 50 cents instead of $1.50. For these, especially with like rounds like that, 300 blackout, some of the sexier 147 grain, like 9mm, or the heavier 40 cal rounds that a lot of the competition guys use. All those guys make that ammo themselves. They're not going to pay for it. They can make it for tons less.
You have missed my point.
I guess so.
You will not save money. You will just shoot more.
Well, I don't agree with that either. Well, I guess it's just me because I don't have an opportunity to go do it because I live in a big ass city where everybody hates guns.
All right, real quick, before we go any further, Daniel's going to jump off. Daniel, would you like to say anything before you go, brother?
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. Enjoy it. I just got to get up early in the morning because it's going to be a long day.
It was great chatting with you, Dan.
Hey, SoCal, let me know when you move out of California. I'm getting some material ready.
Materials?
Mm-hmm.
Like materials or material?
Material. Like aluminium, getting ready to make it.
Aluminiums?
Aluminiums to get ready for a video. Just for you.
That frightens me. Okay.
It should. All right. Good night, guys.
Mr. Daniel, have a wonderful evening, sir.
Thanks.
Night, Daniel.
Night, Daniel.
I wanted to second what SoCal was talking about. I mean, when you're shooting precision cartridge, I actually went to the point to where, as you could tell, this is what I paid locally for this 6.5 Creedmoor. I took it upon myself to actually demill the thing and see how consistent these bullets are. And surprisingly, they're off within half a grain. Overall length are off half a grain. Concentricity was through the roof, and they're selling this stuff as match ammunition. So the biggest advantage also with hand loading is you make a cartridge that pretty much will outperform, a barrel that's worth $800. I mean, you're fine tuning your harmonics and your rifle on to shoot just as good as $1,000 barrel.
You can get as stupid as you want to when you're reloading ammunition, and that's with store-bought boxed ammunition. You can, choose your powder charges, test them, and everything, and you can save a little bit of money.
Yeah.
When you start casting stuff, now you're depending on a source of lead and this, that, and the other. It could raise or drop your cost per shot depending on what you have. If it's cheaper to buy the store-bought ammunition or the store-bought bullets, or cast your own bullets, powder coat them, whatever you want to do. It's a big game, and everybody's playing it.
Yeah. Well, I got a prime example with this target. These are this ammunition right here, the one on this side, left side, right? I demilled the thing, loaded my own with the same bullet, my own powder, and came up with these groups right here, just by just doing my own hand loads. I went from spending $1.50 a round or $1.40 a round to roughly 45 cents a round.
There you go. That's kind of my point. And it's like, I have a couple of friends of mine. Some of them are top-notch, huge level marksmen, PSR competition dudes, and they absolutely swear by the Hornady ELD 147 cartridge made by Hornady. It's the most consistent thing since ever. And I'm like, no, you got to be able to do this better. And specifically for, one of my rifles, I've actually measured the bullet jump and went through a test where I actually backed it out. I measured the length of an ELD round and then measured mine and went just kind of berserk on a science kind of level, measuring bullet jump, and went with something that's basically 15 thousandths off the lands and grooves, and it's way more accurate than that Hornady shit, which isn't crap, by the way, but it's also $1.50 a round. And if I can make something that's even more accurate for a third of that, hell yeah, anybody should be like jumping up and down about that.
Well, yeah. What got me into reloading? Let's go back to basics. 50 cal pistol, Smith & Wesson 500. It didn't take me too long to realize that, oh damn, this stuff's expensive. So I started casting my own bullets for that. I've been reloading 9mm and 223 and 300 blackout forever. And, I fine-tuned everything, found a powder that I wanted to use, and started using it. And this is with store-bought bullets or my own cast bullets. It didn't matter. Of course, each one of them had their own different things. But you take your store-bought bullets, you reload them, and you're in what, 3 cents per primer. You clean the cases, size them, 3 cents per primer. I don't know what, 4 to 8 cents per powder charge for 300 blackout. And then whatever you have in the bullet, and you can depending on what bullet you want to use. Do you want to go supersonic, subsonic? That doesn't matter. Are you using a silencer or are you not? Before you know it, you're still saving a lot of money, but it requires a lot of your time. If it's not something that you want to put the time into, then just buy the shit off the shelf.
All right. So you just counteracted your own thing earlier you were talking about. Anyway, we have another question out there. SoCal, would you like to answer that question for me, brother?
Yeah, so bullet jump is basically when you chamber a cartridge, you'll have the ogive of the bullet, which is the way it is shaped, the way it's tapered off, that kind of rounded area on the bullet. The bullet is actually larger than the barrel itself, just by a couple 10,000ths. That's what gives it the pressure. So when I say bullet jump, when you pull the trigger, the bullet comes out of the case and lodges itself into the throat of the barrel. The distance that the bullet has to go from when it is fired to where it lodges itself into the throat of the barrel before all that compression takes place, that is called bullet jump. It's a finite distance. It's usually no more than maybe a couple hundredths of an inch, but in some cases it might be even as much as a quarter inch. But playing off of barrel harmonics, what Eagle was talking about earlier, you can kind of fine-tune accuracy, adjusting your overall length on a cartridge. When you find the right powder charge, you can also adjust the bullet jump, which will also play into compression and PSI and burn rate and a bunch of other stuff that's kind of higher level, kind of groovy voodoo science shit when you're reloading. But when you you get down the rabbit hole as far as I have with these high precision rounds, it makes a huge difference. And even not so much at 100 yards, but when you're shooting at 1,000 yards, a quarter inch at 100 yards is 6 inches, or not quite 6 inches, 3 or odd more inches at 1,000. And yeah, it's just part of the science, and it's cool. I enjoy this crap.
And just for the people that don't understand that language he was talking, if you load pistol, if it fits in the chamber, you're good.
That's true. Thanks, TR.
We're talking two elements of the game: precision shooting and just basic handguns. I mean, you're talking about 1,000+ yards, where you can really get OCD in your hand loads. That's where every little thing you do.
Yeah.
The only reason I pointed that out, I don't want to scare off any potential reloaders out there.
Exactly.
What Cal was talking about get into it and you keep getting advanced. If you want to go there into rifle cartridge, but if you just want to load up some target ammo for 9mm, 45, 40 Smith & Wesson, 38, whatever, you don't have to get that advanced. You just have to make sure it fits in your gun. And when you pull the trigger, it goes out the end of the barrel. That's the basics.
Yeah. Thank you, TR, for that, because sometimes you just take it for granted. You're absolutely right. Excellent disclaimer.
No, but it's good. I like your description of how it goes when you start getting more and more into it to become some voodoo science shit. I like that.
Man.
It's definitely, there's really no other way to describe it. Oh, I think there's another word for it. It's called ballistics. But that's
I like voodoo science better, man. Voodoo science shit.
Yeah, it's voodoo science shit, man.
Rocket science.
Yeah, everything counts.
You can turn into rocket surgery if you want to, but because that's essentially what it'll turn into.
Yeah, but like you said, man, basic pistol, it's easy. It really is. It's just take your time, make sure you got powder in there before you put that bullet on top and crank it, and you're good.
Yeah. Anyway, even loading rifle rounds. I remember Les, Papa's place, Les, when I was first starting out. He helped me out with a problem I had. My overall length was fine. I was loading, I think it was like 45 or something, just regular 45 ACP. And the overall length was like within spec, and the charge was within spec. These are all readings or basic information you can find in a reloading manual for whatever cartridge and bullet combination you're using. But it was still like not really working out. It was slow. It was like a musket load, like super slow. And he's like, just seat the bullet a little bit deeper. And that in itself is, you know, just tinkering with overall length so you get a higher pressure using the same amount of powder. That plays also into that crazy voodoo shit.
Once again, you can turn it into rocket surgery if you want to.
Yeah, you can.
I like keeping it simple. I mean, I'm going to get into the voodoo science shit here down the road with the 6.5 and everything, but I really like the simplicity of the pistol loads and just, again, just, you know, it's therapy. Sit there and you just take your time, relax, and just keep cranking that handle, man.
I recommend casting for a pistol if you carry and you're serious about practicing for your carry gun. You know, you make a bunch of these, 3 cents, 4 cents a round. Go every weekend. Practice. Ratchet's handgun. It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it's on my list, man. Once I get out of this apartment and actually get somewhere where I can actually cast, it's on the list.
Yeah.
I've been looking at various parts and pieces I need to get, so we'll be talking down the road.
Yeah. See, I cast and I make a charge and a bullet that simulates my carry round. That way I know what it feels like in my firearm. And I go out there every weekend off camera. I shoot about 400, 500 rounds. Not as good as Josh, but I hope to get there one day.
I used to shoot a bunch of steel challenges and all that, and I had my own load for that. It was a low weight lead alloy with a low powder charge, and it's really cool because you can tailor everything because it was a really low recoil round. You can tailor everything. If you reload your own ammo, you can make it whatever you want to do. You know, you can make it hot. You can make it little, you know, less recoil, and which can actually invite the old lady or, you know, maybe your mother. I mean, whatever you want to do. But it'll make it more interesting to shoot. And I used to shoot a lot of rounds, and that's what got me into reloading because I was shooting so many rounds.
All right, can I speak now?
Maybe.
Please.
Vanessa,
No, wait. Just kidding. Sorry.
I'm trying to. All the voodoo, and SoCal knows. I've been reloading a long time, and I understand all that. And don't get me wrong, I got a whole room. Half of it, I got some ham equipment in there, ham radio equipment, and the other 3/4 of it is all reloading. I mean, all of it. I got presses laying everywhere. Blah 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 blah. But I think the spirit of this chat is people getting into reloading. Now, this isn't the exact thing I started out reloading. When I started reloading, I didn't even have a scale. I used the Lee powder dippers and a little scale, a little slide card thing that told you which dipper to use for what powder and what you wanted. Very, very caveman basic stuff. Yep, right there. That's what he's got. And but I'll tell you, all you need to reload, now that these electronic scales have gotten so cheap, I have one of these little Hornady scales. You can get them for, I think I paid $20 for that. You can get a Lee. I do suggest the Lee reloading kit. They're about $120 a single stage, but you don't have to. You can just buy the press like this. This is how I started. I bolted it to a 2x4. I took a C-clamp. I C-clamped it to a table, and I would reload 50 rounds a night maybe. Well, I reload a few rounds, make sure they fit the gun, and take them outside, make sure they shot, and then I might start loading 50, 100, whatever of those. You can get into it really, really cheap. You don't have to go all out. You can start less than $100. You can be reloading, minus components. Don't get me wrong. You still got to buy powder, primer, and all that, bullets and what have you. But I'm just saying, you can start out small and work your way up. And there's nothing wrong with buying a progressive press to start with. But I'm just saying, for around $100, $120, you can get into it. See if you like it. If you don't like it, if it's over your head, throw it to the side, and you didn't invest a bunch of money into something you're not going to use.
That's great advice, TR.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to like scare anybody off.
No, you didn't. There was a question in the audience, and I just wanted to kind of answer that and cover all the bases. I mean, it's reloading is like anything else. You can do it a little bit, or you can go all out, or you can do it in the middle. It's all over the spectrum, but you ain't got to spend a lot of money into it.
No, and
get into it cheaply.
Chico brought up a good point earlier too. Find the deals. Like when I bought my Elite turret press, I bought the entire kit and it was on sale. I found it on sale for like $180. I bought the full kit for $180, and then just had the little components after that, the little bits and pieces here, odds and ends.
Well, it came
probably
with a
lasting $300 for everything and reloading before you know it.
Yeah. I mean, I really recommend the turret press because exactly what SoCal was saying is you have some room to grow and progress if you get into it. I use my turret press. This is the Elite Value turret more than any of my other presses. I do my precision reloads, and I also do handgun on it. And you can pick these up for like $75. Like you're saying, a kit just over 100. You get everything you need to start reloading. So, but if you shoot, it depends what you do. Do you shoot more pistol? Or do you shoot more rifle? You got to think about what you're doing. Pistol rounds, and of course, the progressive press is going to pump them out a lot faster. You got room to grow, and you can go both ways with the turret press.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it's kind of funny, like the way I progressed in my reloading. I started with a Dillon 650, and mainly I was just running blasting ammo. You know, I wasn't really into precision shooting at the time. I was just more tactical kind of stuff, self-defense, just practicing to be better at, you know, protecting myself and my family. And obviously shooting is fun. That's why we're all here. But as I've basically gone down this road of reloading, I've actually found myself with several single stage presses and a turret press as well. Like Eagle was saying, because I don't care what progressive press you have, there is no way to copy the precision at which a single stage or a turret press can manufacture ammo, especially when it comes to the powder drop. If you're not hand measuring it, you know, most powder droppers are plus or minus 0.1 or 2 or even 3, 4, 5 grains, depending on what it is. I know my Dillons are not, they're not accurate. As much as you pay for those things, they're just simply not accurate. They're plus or minus 0.3 grains all day long. So yeah,
I would say
it depends what your aim is, really.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up right now what TR Prepper's saying, and let's just go see what the current prices are for getting into reloading. I mean, TR, what's your recommendation on getting started? What kind of gear?
Well, I agree with you on the Elite turret press. I think the best bang for the buck, getting into something, especially if you're not 100% that you're committed to it, the Elite turret press kit, which comes with everything you need. I think they're about $150, and that's scale, a little auto powder drop. I forget what all's in the kit, but the whole kit, press and all, $150 or less, and you add your components, brass, primers, powder, bullets, and you're off and reloading. You got everything you need to reload.
Yeah.
What is the Champion press? It's a C, or is it the Lee C or Champion or something like that?
Yeah, that's a single stage breech lock press kit.
Yeah, a little Challenger.
Yeah, I would lean towards the newer 2018 kits because they come with the auto drum powder measure, which is superior to a lot of the other Elite products. I mean, we're talking about the lower end of the reloading spectrum, and I particularly
that's all you need. If you reload 500 rounds of 45 ACP, it's paid for it. So.
Yeah.
You know, you buy your bullets, buy your primers, buy your powder, and bada bing, you know.
and a die set.
And could I say something? I wouldn't go against anybody buying used. You can find some good deals on used equipment, whether it be presses or don't buy no used brass unless you can help it. But yeah, you can find good used equipment for people who's getting out of the hobby. But like I said, I'd probably wait because this month, Black Friday, you may be able to find some good deals on reloading
Leave
components.
it to Chico. He'll find Dillon 1050 fully automated for $18.
Hey, actually, on Chico's point, the bonus part about buying used reloading equipment, like say on Craigslist or whatever, the cool part about most of the manufacturers, I can't think of one actually that doesn't, but most of them have like a pretty decent quote unquote lifetime warranty on most of their presses. And if you call any of these companies that say, you know, hey, I have this press and it's doing this, it's strange, 9 times out of 10 they're going to send you a pile of parts for free because they believe in their presses and they want them to work for you. So, you know, feel comfortable in the fact that you could probably buy a used press sight unseen, get it back to your house, and just call the company and they'll support your problem.
You know, this guy right here, and I got it for a good deal, and there's nothing wrong with it. Literally, I thought it was missing a few pieces when I first picked it up. It wasn't missing anything. It works 100%.
To go along with what SoCal's saying, Dillon does have a lifetime warranty on stuff, don't get me wrong, but RCBS, Lee, and just to add for anybody that's pricing stuff out, I back pretty much all Lee stuff. I don't like their progressive presses, but other than that, they're a great company. They are made in USA. It's not Chinese crap. But anyhow, RCBS, Lee, Redmond, all of them, I have yet to hear anybody that has had a problem that they didn't get solved for free. I have called RCBS on the phone, and anyhow, it was a die set. Anyhow, I broke it. I broke a swaging post, the swage primers. I told guys I broke it. I didn't have it adjusted right. And he's okay, Mr. Blah, 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 blah. We'll send you one right out. And I was like, okay, you credit card? What, you know, he's like, no cost. I said, I broke it. It didn't break on its own. You know, he's like, it's no problem. We'll send you 2 of them out so you'll have a spare. I mean, seriously, like SoCal says, any of the manufacturers, they back their stuff. Even if they don't imply a warranty, they'll back it anyway.
Yeah, they're good. Lineman, I got the new lineman over here, and I fucked up one of the pieces on it. And I sent Lyman an email and said, hey, you know, this is screwed up. And all I got back was send us your address. 3 days later, I had it in the mail. Like, they're really good. You can't go wrong. Any one of them will take care of you.
And unless you're Coda Boy 32,
that's a different exception. Let's not even bring that up. That's just abuse at its finest. But he'll definitely get the thing rebuilt for free.
I wish I could have seen that damn live. I mean, it was a private chat. Holy crap! Anyway, most reloading stuff you buy, even Lee, the crap's damn near bulletproof. I mean, it's made for durability to last for decades. So you have to really try hard to screw it up.
One thing is, if you call the Lee helpline, you're going to talk to somebody with the last name Lee, which, you know, that means a lot. It's a family-owned company. They actually stand behind everything because it's a family name.
I've got this Lee classic turret press that we talked about a little bit. There is one weak point in it, and that's with the auto index and the little square bushing at the bottom that makes the thing rotate, and it's made out of plastic. And periodically you'll wear one out. But that's the fuse. That's kind of like the fuse of the press if you were looking at it in an electrical sense. That's what you want to break rather than anything else. And you can call Lee up and say, hey, I need one of those square bushings for my turret. and I ordered them. I've called them and ordered them, and I paid for one. I think it was like $1.10. Well, when the package got here, there were like 5 of them in there.
I was going to say, yeah, they send you 5 of them.
Yeah, Lee will charge you for parts, but they always give you a couple of extras for free. So basically, you've got a spare. And we've been talking about this, and we've been talking for a long time, and we haven't heard a whole lot out of Alan. I think maybe Alan needs to run down the side chat.
Well, yeah, you haven't heard a lot out of me, because I'm kind of wondering here. I'm going to go ahead and share this. I'm kind of wondering if something like this is actually a good place to start. Just 9 millimeters, what this is looking like. It looks like it comes with the turret. It comes with the 19 shell plate powder measure, large case feeder, and priming system. Is something like this. I mean, I'm brand new looking at 170.
I got a little experience on the Pro 1000, and like every manufacturer out there, there's always a quirk, and it depends how much that quirk annoys you and how much you want to spend. That Pro 1000, the biggest quirk on that one is the primer system. No matter what they improvise, it just has it. So if you're going to use that press, you're going to want to prime off the press, regardless of the cartridge.
I owned a Lee 1000, Pro 1000. I gave it away. I almost shot it, but I gave it away. The priming system sucks. Do not buy it. Like I said, I love Lee products, but do not buy their progressive presses. I know there's some people out there. They make 2 different ones. The 1000 is one I had. It's a piece of crap. I can't speak for the other. Their turret press I have used. I don't own one, but I have used. The turret press is a good press. I'll just say that.
Everybody I've heard of that has the progressive press, the turret press, really loves it. That was my first press, and then I bought one of those little small Lee C presses, and I'm just doing everything I need to do, from sizing my cast bullets to case prep to everything to precision rifle rounds on those 2 presses. And for you guys that are thinking about getting into reloading, I think I owe it to you to tell you before you get started, case prep sucks. It takes a long. It takes a long time. It's very meticulous. It's very labor intensive. But when you get done and you get you a little bag like this right here with a few 357 Magnums in there loaded up and ready to take out and shoot in your 586, and they're pretty and they shoot good and they hit the target, man, it's such a feeling of self-confidence, of a sense of accomplishment. And
yeah, that is huge. I agree 100% with Jamie. When it comes to, once you get those first reloads done and you go out and you shoot them, it's just like, whew, man, that's awesome. And you get that huge sense of accomplishment of what you did, and you go back and you start cranking the hand, you cranking more and more and more, and then you want to start playing with it and start doing different types of loads and getting into something else. And yeah, it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. But I would agree also with the turret press. Start with either a turret press, or if you're going progressive, like TR and Kenny said, stay clear of the Pro 1000, because it has a lot of quirks and a lot of issues. And I've heard that from multiple people over the years, just from being in the firearms industry alone, that I've heard so many people complain about that press.
Yeah, the biggest downfall of that press is that it's only 3 stations, and if you're loading a pistol, you want to have at least 4 stations. If you're going to be sizing and depriming on press, bullet feeding, and then you got your bullet seating, and then you got your crimp. You always, with a pistol, you want to do a crimp. So you're going to need at least 4 stages if you're going through the whole process of brass prep, priming, and reloading.
Let me expand just for a second. And all you guys on the panel that reload, I think you'll agree with me. when you very first start and you've got these loads that you've been working on, you've done your case prep, you've done your study and your reloading manual, and you've got these loaded rounds and you're fixing to go out and shoot them. From the time you put that round in that firearm and you aim it and you squeeze that first squeeze the trigger on that first round, man, you couldn't. I mean, that whole, man, is my gun going to blow up? You know,
so Jamie, what you're saying is what you're saying is it's similar to the feeling of trying to drive a nail up your ass with a jackhammer. You just
you can't do that. I was trying. That was exactly what I was thinking, but I was trying not to say it. But I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You're very you're worried you're going to blow your face off, to borrow Johnny Reloader's.
Yeah, the first time I did it, and the first runs I loaded up, I think it was 15 rounds was the first set I loaded up. And that first squeeze, man, exactly just like you said, I'm like, don't blow up, don't blow up, don't blow up. Bang, cycle fine. Okay, good, we're good.
Yeah, after that, it's all like, man, I can't wait.
Always like, don't blow up, don't blow up, don't blow up, don't blow up.
And then that adrenaline gets going and you can't do it enough, man. It's like, I did that. I can't believe I did that. And
Vanessa has got like 500 questions out there. Her first question was, what press does she get? Because she's thinking about doing long action reloading. Most presses, single stage and turret presses will do long action. A lot of progressive presses, the smaller ones, will not. Then she asked another question, and if you guys have anything to add, please jump in. But she asked another question: what is the best progressive press? I basically answered none. But again, the Dillon series of like the 550 the Square Deal B and the 650 are pretty standard presses for a lot of your major cartridges, up to the like around the 30-06, I think, is the largest.
Yeah, it won't do 338. You have to go
no.
bigger.
And she asked one other question. Lost it.
And rifles, so both. So
yeah.
If you want to go Dillon, start with the 550, and you're good. And
Even the Square Deal B, does the 550 do rifle TR?
No, I was going to say, for the money, that little bit of extra money, for a trying to be economical, and you want to do progressive, and you're going to do rifle and pistol.
Square Deal.
Square Deal won't do a rifle.
Oh, I thought it would. All right, I'll shut up.
The 550 for like another $50, you can buy a 550, and even conversion. Pretty much all you got to do for a conversion minimum is buy a shell plate. Whereas the Square Deal B, you're looking at almost $100 to change calibers, because you got to buy their dies. With a 550, you can use Lee dies. All you got to do is buy a shell plate, and you can go from 30-06 to 9mm.
Yep, the 550 is a great progressive press.
Yeah, I mean the 650 is good, and I know it's a little bit better. But in my opinion, trying to keep the cost down, because I don't have a case feeder, bullet feeder, and all that for mine. I mean, I put my case in manually, I put the bullet on it manually, and I have to turn it manually. It's a progressive press, but it's not truly progressive in the point of it does not rotate the base for you. So you got to do that yourself, but you still, every time you pull a handle, a case comes, a loaded cartridge comes out. And for the money, it's less than $500, and you got a progressive press.
Yeah, and the price between that and the 650 is like $120 or something like that.
Bring a 550 up onto the table to show everybody how it works. I mean, I can do that.
Yeah, dust off the crickets and
Dust off the crickets.
Yeah, you could dust off the crickets. I was still sitting on the floor when I was there. That's been a while, man. I know it was there before I know it was there before I got there. So you need to dust the crickets off that thing.
Well, I mean, I can. I was actually going to load some 200 or 270 rounds this afternoon. I was talking to 76 High Boy and him and his mother-in-law for some reason, but that was a really fun chat. I can bring a 550 right here and show everybody how it works and all that if that's what we need to do. I mean,
well, if you would like to demonstrate loading a bunch of 4570s for me and then going ahead and sending them to me, I'd appreciate that.
Okay. Okay. Well, since I don't shoot 4570, you're on your own. The way we would say it in the military is AMF yo-yo. That's it. Adios, motherfucker. You're on your own.
Patriot in the Dark is asking what would be a good single stage setup for a guy to start 38 special.
I love this little oh hell, Jamie, what is this?
That's not a single stage is what it is.
Right. I mean, what the Lee Classic turret press or whatever?
Yeah, that's what I
don't even use the turret feature of it. I just turn it. I just turn it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I go Chico, man. I don't use.
You also got to remember he can't see, so he would probably be using those. What I'd recommend to him is those cups, those little Lee cups, and like a playing card or a credit card, driver's license, whatever, and just scrape it off the top and pour it in the Lee.
Oh, you talking about the dippers? The
Lee dippers, yeah.
Dippers?
And the funnel setup, I can't find my funnel. That's bad. But yeah, here it is right here. The Lee funnel fits right inside the Lee charging die. Like this. So it fits right in there. And you just well, that's actually that is a crimp die, but yeah, the Lee Classic Cast breech lock press would be what I would recommend in that kit, with a set of Lee dippers, a Lee funnel, and a set of Lee dies to get started. That would run you, all that stuff would run you $150, $200, including your cases, primers, and powder.
And I love his in the dark challenge. That's just amazing. I'm trying to work up gumption to tear down a Colt 45 on the TRP table right here and do it blindfolded. I know I don't have a problem with it, but it's just locating everything after I get it done. It's a wonderful thing that he's doing. I really do appreciate it.
All right. Vanessa had another question out there. So she's looking at both rifle and Magnum handgun loads. So she was wondering what was the best press for both. She wants to be able to get both a nice accurate load for the rifle, but then she also wants to be really good at the Magnum handgun loads as well.
Well, she also asked which was more accurate, the turret or the progressive. So it just depends on how accurate. What do you mean by accurate?
Yeah, and like I said earlier, what it really the thing about progressive presses is the powder drop. Everything else is pretty much standard. With the bullet seating, the case sizing, all that stuff is going to be as accurate as a progressive. It's really the powder drop that you really start twisting and breaking and splitting hairs with, depending on how crazy you want to get. And I said it earlier where specifically the Dillon powder drop was not accurate. And when I said that, it's not that it's not accurate, it's good enough accurate. It's just when you're trying to develop a load like for long range precision where you want everything to be absolutely as consistent as you can make it, in comparison, it is not accurate.
It doesn't matter because when you're at that stage, you're going to hand charge that shit anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my point.
I was going to talk about the progressive press. If you want to talk about accuracy for rifle, you're not going to get it because, number one, when you fire form your case or you have a fire case and you're resizing it, you got all four of these going up into your dies, right? What's going to give you your accuracy is if your dies are free floating and allowing it to center into your case because your fire form cases are already trued in center on most cartridges.
No, Kenny, you're wrong. What's going to give you your accuracy is your unicorns that are going to gallop down the range.
Yeah.
TR, I'm with you, bro.
there's a simple hack. There's a simple hack with your dies. I mean, I would say if you got the funds and you're really serious about getting it, go with the Redding T7. It's a pretty robust press. A lot of folks get good accuracy with it. If not, the turret press will do just as good. It just doesn't feel as solid. But you want to switch out to rings like this because it has that O-ring. This allows that die in that 7/8 thread to kind of move around and self-center. If you don't have these, go to Harbor Freight, get yourself an O-ring set, and put an O-ring underneath your lock ring that allow it to give it that free play, and you'll get better accuracy out of that.
This is why I like inviting Kenny, man.
I'm a little technical. I'm sorry.
No, dude, you're good. That's why I like having you on, man. You're good.
I think Kenny and I could spend an afternoon together, and that's like absolutely 100% hashtag no homo. But
I don't know, man.
I think we could have some fun drilling holes at long range together.
Oh yeah, I can't wait, man. We'll make it
what
happen.
I was talking about, it depends on what you mean by accuracy. The question Kitty had, a progressive press for the most part, until you're trying to reach out there 500-600 yards, 1,000 yards, and trying to shoot a clover leaf, a progressive press will load accurate ammo. It just depends on what you consider accurate. I mean, if it's a hunting round, even a target round to a certain degree, the progressive press is going to be, it's probably going to load ammo more accurate than you can shoot it anyway.
Or buy in a store, literally, or buy in a store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
I guess
I think it's accurate enough for me, but I'm not shooting at 1,000 yards. And even if I was, I might do the powder load individual, weighed out. But as Eagles pointed out, there are some differences about how a progressive would load compared to, I mean, you're getting back into the, what we call it earlier,
voodoo science shit.
Voodoo science, It depends on what you call accurate, because that's a pretty big scale. But I think a progressive press, any well-made name brand progressive press, will probably load accurate enough ammo for your average shooter, in my opinion.
Yep. Yeah, I bought the Lyman 8 turret press, and I bought that specifically mainly for rifle to do those precision rifle loads. But I'll be doing them all hand charging on the powder and everything. So it's a little different, and it's gonna take longer, but I got no problem doing that because that's what I want. I want that accurate load because I plan on shooting 1,000+ yards. So I got no problem doing that. But depending on your situation and what you're doing, that's going to make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're almost at that time. So final thoughts on getting and reloading, and any advice for the new reloader or someone on the edge. Final thoughts. We'll start with Chico Wise.
Sure. Yeah. So look, guys, however you get into reloading, whatever cheapest method, which a lot of people would agree would be probably the best way to go. Just think about it. If you don't like it, you can always recoup some of your money. Maybe not all of it, but you can sell off that press. Just hit me up. I will buy what you can have. But no, but on a serious note, like I said, if you don't like it, you could always resell the equipment. But not trying to, like, I know none of the panel was trying to scare you guys, but you want to do safety. You want to always make sure you be safe with whenever investigate, research, ask questions on here or TRN. But that's pretty much it. It is a relaxing hobby. I enjoy it a lot, but it is a lot to learn. And even me, I'm still learning as I go. So thanks for being here. I appreciate being part of the panel, and see you guys next time.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Kenny, what you got, brother?
Yeah, like always, I always appreciate coming in here. You guys are awesome folks. And basically, my channel, I pretty much am just budget friendly, the average person that doesn't want to spend too much money. So mostly everything that I show on my channel is basically getting out there and taking a rifle that's built $700 or less and pushing it out to 1,200 plus yards. And you can do it just by reloading. I do a lot of fun loads as well, showing cool things you can do, like the semi-wide cutter 223, the things you can't buy at the store, and have fun with it. And if anybody's interested and want to see the process, come check it out. I appreciate it, and any kind of feedback will definitely help out as well.
Yeah, you did one video, I forget which one it was, but you were doing ones where you actually just pressing the bullet in and then shooting them, and that was cool.
Yeah, so
that's cool as hell, man. I remember that. I forget what the video was, but I remember you just hand pressing the bullet in, and then
so kind of a shit hit the fan kind of round for the SKS. I took fired cases, made my own black powder, cast my own bullet, put some lube, and then you just hand press it. And the primer is even handmade. I got a primer. You push out the dent and you use a matchstick and mix it together, and that makes your primer source. So it's kind of cool to learn all that.
Yeah, that was cool, man. That was awesome. Thanks. All right, Jamie, what you got, brother?
I would just encourage everybody, like Chico said, don't be intimidated by it. If folks like me can do it, it's not that hard. You can come to my channel, JH586. I do basic type stuff. I run my 35 Remington series right now. I've got load 7 loaded up and ready to test. I'm about to get into some 38 Special 357 Magnum stuff, and I've only been doing this a couple of years, and I'm learning more every day. And the stuff that I've already learned and I've put into practice, I'm seeing results, and it's very therapeutic, like most of the guys have said. And I would just encourage everybody to, if you're on the edge, just start saving your brass and stuff like that, and do your research. Go to thereloadersnetwork.com. There's a ton of content about nothing but reloading and shooting and stuff like that. All these guys that you've talked to tonight, Chico, Kyle, especially Kenny, there's a lot of us over there that that's what we do, and that's why we're there, is to help people that want to learn. And you can go ask questions on Slack. We'll be glad to get back in touch with you and talk to you. So with that being said, thanks for having me on, Mr. Scotsman. It's been a blast as always.
Yeah, always welcome, brother. Appreciate showing up. Josh, what you got, brother?
Nothing. I was just on here just listening. I probably should have been in the side chat, not on the panel, but on a bright note, is it's becoming less and less of Spanish that I'm hearing. You know, like it's becoming fluent what I'm hearing from everybody about reloading and all that stuff. I'm starting to actually understand what everybody's talking about, but unfortunately, I just don't have anything to contribute to the conversation because I don't know all that much about reloading. I enjoy watching y'all's like Kyle Lusk, JH586. I like watching all y'all's channels on everything. I just don't know anything really that much about it or have anything to contribute to the conversation. So I usually don't comment on the videos and whatnot, but I'm starting to understand, you know, all the terminology, everything that everybody's saying is starting to make a lot more sense. So it was cool. It was cool listening to everybody talk about all this stuff. It was educational for sure.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Appreciate it.
Well, and Josh, I know exactly what you're saying there, Josh. I've been doing the same thing for a little while now and watching some of these guys' videos and trying to learn more about it, chatting with them in the shows and trying to learn more about it. And the basics are basic. They're very rudimentary stuff. And then you get to talking like to people like WTF SoCal that knows way too much about it, or Jay or Eagle Eye, and it's just like, man, I get started in on this, and I am gonna so frickin' nerd out. I'm gonna go fucking hog wild. I'm gonna have to get myself a fucking room just to put all my fucking reloading shit in. That's probably gonna have to be the size of a garage. I know I'm gonna get addicted to this shit. But listening to these guys talk about it, you start learning it pretty quick. The way it all seems to start is real basic, and I can see even just as a self-defensive carrier how that would benefit me, to be able to create my own precision loads, even just for practice. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Kyle Lusk, what you got, man?
That Alan, that was a great statement. Because you're exactly correct. It's not rocket science. It's having the time to sit back and enjoy what you're doing, to reload ammunition. And you can make 44 Magnums, you can make 300 Blackouts, and you can do all this stuff while sitting here watching YouTube. I was actually reloading this morning watching 76 Highboy and him and his mother making cookies. Mm-hmm. But we ended up having a really good conversation, which is neither here nor there. But yeah, getting into reloading it doesn't have to be. It's not as overwhelming as you think. You can get into it for a minimal amount of dollars. It's just, how much do you shoot? If you shoot a lot, invest in something else. If you don't shoot a lot, invest in this. If you've got the time to sit there and pull the handle 15 times for one round, four times for one round, that's fine. I'm not looking down on anybody that would ever do that. I don't. I've got several presses. There's actually some on the floor. Sorry. If you're looking into getting into reloading, you need to look at how much you shoot. If you shoot enough to make it count, that's fine, because I can reload 9mm for, what is it, Scotsman? About 8 cents a round.
Yeah, I'd say by the time I'm done with everything, it's probably 8-9 cents a round, somewhere in there.
So if that's what you want to do, Now, if you don't shoot a lot, it's not worth it. Because you can buy Winchester white box ammo pretty damn cheap. But this box of primers, there's 100 right there, and it's $33, $34 for a box case of 1,000. You have to look at it. It's an investment. Are you going to make the investment? Do you enjoy the process? If you don't enjoy the process, don't do it. If you think that you might enjoy the process, this could be something that you would enjoy. And I really enjoy. And that's about all I got. I just... That's about all I got. If you enjoy it, do it. If you don't.
All right, cool. Thank you, man. All right, TR, what you got, brother?
Yeah, I think it's a great hobby. Something else right now is getting that time of year where I'll probably be doing more reloading. Summertime, I don't do a lot of loading unless I'm just checking some stuff. It's a great time, especially depending on where you live, where you may not get to go shooting too much. Cold, rainy days, weekends, or snowy days, weekends, but you want to be involved in the shooting sports at some time. Great time to be sitting in your little room reloading. And one other little tool that I will recommend if you do get into reloading is a kinetic hammer at a minimum.
Oh, the arrow.
You can get the screw ups you make. You can recapture your brass and all that, because you will end up with a pile of stuff that you screwed up on. And these little hammers work great. And don't be afraid of them. You got to really whack the crap out of it to get you slinging the bullet out of the case. So I will recommend one of those too.
Yeah, you got to literally beat the shit out of it. They take a damn good beating. I will tell you, though, when I started, and I did make mistakes when I started, we all do. I made mistakes. I still have the first 5 rounds that I fucked up because I wanted to keep them as a reminder. Don't fucking do that again.
It's the wall of shame.
But anyway, we'll move on. SoCal, what you got, brother?
I basically thought like of 400 different things, but I think the thing I would probably leave everybody with is reloading takes a drive. You have to want to do it. You have to have the patience to do it. You have to have the wherewithal to absorb and understand the information given to you. It's not for the people who just want to make cheap ammo, who really aren't interested in why it is that it works. You have to want to understand what it is you're doing, because you'll only get better at it. But if you don't understand what you're doing, chances are you're going to set your house on fire, lose an arm or an eye, or let's face it, we are playing with explosives here. You need to have the patience and the understanding and the aptitude for at least what you're getting yourself into. I'm not trying to scare anyone. It's definitely not dangerous, but you have to definitely think safety. So with that, I still will sit on my first statement that if you're going to start, I suggest either going with a full-fledged turret pressed or a progressive and just using it as a single stage, unless your main focus is precision ammo, which is actually hard to imagine why anybody would try to start with precision rifle ammo, which that's like the stupidest thing you could ever do. But don't be afraid of trying a progressive at first. Just make sure it's a good quality machine that a lot of people will stand behind, or a turret press. Turret presses are great because you can also treat them as single stages as well. And yeah, that's aside from the other 500 or 600 thoughts I could go on for probably an hour and a half or two. I'll just leave you with if anybody's interested in the 650 or the 1050 machines on my YouTube channel, this one, I also have another YouTube channel called SoCal's Preps that I haven't done any videos on for probably 4 or 5 years, but I do on the current channel, this now, the WTF SoCal, I do have a 8-part video on how to set up a Dillon 650, specifically on how to set it up for a 9mm. And that video is basically, you can use that video for literally any caliber you wanted to. So if you're interested, go check that out. And everybody else on the panel, awesome talking to you guys. And Scotty, thanks for having me on. And peace out.
Awesome, brother. Yeah, check that series out. If you guys, even if you guys are not quite ready to bite the bullet and do so and buy the 650, go check that series out. I have it saved because that shit's awesome. He breaks it down, does a damn good job breaking it down and walking through that process. I'll say this: when I first was thinking about this, I had the same kind of nervous thoughts about what do I do. I don't have no clue what I'm doing, so on and so forth. But I talked to various people like Papa Lass, like C-Max, and a few other people, and it's literally just do it. If you are wanting to break down and get that ammunition that you want to make on your own, just do it. Just do it. Don't worry about it. Just take your time. That's the biggest thing. Take your time. Be patient. We'll have lots of manuals. Refer to the manuals. Compare the manuals. And break that information down. Don't just run in with one and go based off of one. You want to break it all down, compare the stuff up, and break it all down. But that's what I'll with.
Wait, I hate interrupting people because I know TR is like the king of ethics on chats. But
go ahead, please.
Anybody who's interested in reloading, it's not like you're going in alone. You have manuals, you have the internet, and plus you have like 300, 400, 500 different channels on YouTube that will all be there for you. And it's not like we're not a community or anything. Any one of these people on the panel, any one of the guys that are familiar with this subject on the side chat, send any one of them or all of them an email. Ask for help. We'd all be very grateful to help you out.
I was just about to say the same exact thing there, WTF. There's plenty of people out here that will be more than happy to help people out. I know that as a guy that doesn't reload, I know if I start getting into this, that if I have any questions at all, I've got a ridiculous amount of wealth of knowledge at my disposal. Because there's plenty of people out in our community that would be more than happy to answer any question that I have or anybody else has.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's an excellent point. My email's on the About page. Most of the guys on here probably have the same thing. I'm also on the Reloaders Network. If you're not a part of the Reloaders Network or don't watch it, check out the Reloaders Network. There's a bunch of good guys over there. They're always happy to answer questions. Chico Wise mentioned Slack. Slack is an app that we use for the Reloaders Network. It's a chat app. You can go on there, ask questions on there. Any one of us will be happy to answer those questions. This community is huge, and it's part of why I'm still here and do what I do. And you guys all rock. I've met so many good people on here. It's not even funny. I'm not going to get into all that, though, because that's just going to run on and on and on. I'm going to leave it to Alan to finish it up, brother.
Everybody else got their outros done and over with. I've been too poor to pay attention. Anyway, well, yeah, it's been great. I've gotten even more information that I've done before, and there's some things that are going to be occupying some of my funds coming up shortly, And I know that I'm probably going to end up going into the reloading after I get something else built, something that's going to put some AR 500 target steel that just happened to show up at my house. Some asshole sent that to me. Some asshole sent me this freaking primary arm scope that's going to cause me to spend a lot more fucking money, you damn asshole. And so, you know, once I get that AR 500 target steel compared to hard target steel with another project, then I'm probably going to be getting into the reloading. Great information tonight. Absolutely awesome panel. It's my honor to have everybody all up in here. Excellent side chat. Great to have everybody. It's been a very good night. So thank you all. Thank you all. Keep the magazines loaded and one in the chamber.
All right. Awesome, guys. We're out of here. We'll see you next week. Appreciate y'all.
Night, guys.